Theologians also talk about empirical arguments for the existence of God that are personally oriented, moral arguments, personal religious experience, miracles that they claim, um, uh, things that are not philosophically analytical but more experiential. What does a skeptic say about those kinds of things?
Well, it depends on the particular argument that's being made. C.S. Lewis made the argument for the moral law that some scientists today say, oh yeah, that's empirical evidence, that we have a sense of right and wrong, that I have a sense of guilt and shame over having done you wrong, or a sense of pride and joy of having helped somebody. Where would that come from? And but we have an answer for that now. I mean, this is some of this is new research. That we evolved to be a social primate species, that we need to be cooperative, altruistic, pro-social. We need to express amity to our fellow in-group members in order for the group to survive, and that it would have been a natural inclination in the long path of our evolutionary history to be kind to other members of our group. But it's also true we have a dark side, that there's within group enmity, that we tend to be tribal and xenophobic and nasty and bellicose. And so to me, evolution explains the Christian worldview with a naturalistic explanation. That is, we are good and evil. We have a sinful side, whatever terms you want to use. I don't think these have to be in conflict.
These theologians, from my sense, have retreated from the analytical, scientific arguments, which I think have caused problems for them in the past, to now these personal, internal arguments about faith, personal religious experience. There seems to be more of a wall around that science can't penetrate and therefore has to recognize. Do you see that? Or as a skeptic, can you penetrate that wall and say that somebody's religious experience is artificial and really doesn't lead anywhere? Okay, so what? What follows?
It depends, again, on the specific claim being made. If somebody says, I believe in God because I heard the voices of God, He spoke to me. Okay, that maybe, okay, but perhaps you had a temporal lobe seizure. And people have temporal lobe seizures, we know, have these profound religious experiences where they hear voices. You know, perhaps you ingested something that caused hallucinations. So we could go down that path, but most people don't make that argument, so I don't think it's all that important. I think what the kinds of arguments people say is that, to me, I'm religious because it works for me. And I'm not claiming any kind of proof or empirical data or that science proves it. I'm just saying this is what I believe. I don't have any problems with that. I don't have a dog in that fight.
But you're saying that that person has the belief, not trying to prove it to you, but has the internal faith or feeling that there is a God, and you're happy with that. You're happy with that as you're happy for your dog to have a bone, or you're happy for that because that person may be really in touch with something that is true?
I'd say I'm a fairly conciliatory, non-combative person, and that if we're going to save the world and make the world a better place for everybody to live, it's better that we give somebody the benefit of the doubt and not be so confrontational in terms of like their religious faith.
Oh, okay, I agree with that. I mean, the world has enough problems caused by religion. I don't think anybody argues with that. But I'm saying in your heart of hearts, not confrontational, but when you think about that other person, let's take me, and I'm a believer, and I'm not trying to prove it to you, and I have my internal faith, and that's my thing. And when you think about me, really, not telling me to my face, when you think about me, what do you think?
It's a really good question. You've really cut to the core here. I guess as a naturalist, I would just tend to immediately think what caused him to think that, because it isn't actually true. There is no God, so why would you think that? Well, your parental upbringing, influence of peer groups, mentors, books that you read, experiences that you've had. I would treat it like a social scientist would treat any problem. What were the causal vectors that led to you to believe that? No different than if you told me you were a liberal or a conservative, I would think, gee, I wonder why he's conservative, because I know that's not right, so it must be, his upbringing or his parents or, or whatever. I would treat it that way.
And if I was conservative and believed in God, boy, then I'm really in trouble.
Well, yeah, I'll buy half of it.